Start the recording. Accept the recording, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you've said something that intrigued me a lot. It's been spinning in my brain since our Christmas party back in November. Some guy named Starbucks gave you 400 million. Certainly, I want to learn more about that story and what happened with that 400 million, but maybe you can weave it in here somewhere. But listen, you introduce yourself to us, tell us who you are, what you do, and we'll just sit down and start making notes.
All right. So that's a hard one to lead off with, but we'll come to that. Some of you already know, like for example, I'm already working or about to start working with Brian and Jody. There's a couple others of you that I noticed on the list that I have talked to, like Sebastian, and there's others that I've met at the party. So I did actually take notes on what everyone does because when I do a presentation or when I do a talk or anything like that, I like to target it on what people are actually caring about and what they look for, what they need, what can help you guys grow your business. So I don't can it. I don't there's some stuff that we'll go over that I was going to go over regardless. But there's stuff like looking at Mary Ann, and I'm looking at what she does with resumes and how she does them right away on the spot. And then I can set up a system for her that will have the right prompts. She can copy in the person's LinkedIn page, space what job they're targeting, and it'll create all the resumes in bulk all at once. So there's lots of, and these are resumes that get jobs. So there's lots of cool stuff that we can do that is unique to each business. And that's one of the things is that, yeah, I can go get, I can go into a Facebook group. I can go into Facebook in general. Hey, Doug, quiet. And what I can do is I can go look and extract everybody that says open to hire, everybody who's looking to be hired, create a list from LinkedIn, get their LinkedIn pages, shoot them an email, get the resume redone for them, and then if they're interested, they can pay me whatever they want. And they usually pay a lot. So I think I have resumecreator.com. I've got resumes.ca. I've got some other ones, but I've got a lot of good traffic where I could get um, customers, let's say for Marianne, just as an example. And then going back to Brian and Jody, we've had like a couple of calls, a couple of talks, but I didn't realize about the program that you guys had about upgrade to a CEO, become a CEO. So I get people that call me almost every 2 days that say, "Hey, I'm a marketing manager or I'm a marketing director. What do I have to do to make that big step and to get the higher end jobs like the CMO stuff that I do and the VP stuff?" So there's a lot of stuff in there that we could certainly teach a course. And there's lots of people, those people are already directors or they're managers, so they're already getting $130,000 a year. So they're willing to spend a few $1,000s easily on a course to teach them how to go from 130,000 to 200,000 and beyond. And that goes for marketers, it goes for salespeople, it goes for everybody in any position who's stuck in a director role. I think I registered something a while ago called manager to CMO, and it was just for that purpose. I never had time to do it because obviously I've got too many things on the go. But that one's a really good one to focus on, and we can pluck people from LinkedIn who want to get coached on how to go to that next level. And it works for anybody at a level, and anybody who's at a job now. We can target and talk to them, and I can invite them and make friends with them, and then obviously they see we know what we're talking about, or I know what I'm talking about, and then from there we can go ahead and we can do all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm going to give you so that opens up a whole lot for Brian, Jody, and I, which was pretty good. And I'm looking through lists at some of the other ones, and I'll hit on a lot of those. The insurance one, obviously, we can get lots of leads, so that's a lot. The health coach, Camille, I've got a demo set up for like a health coach that I'm going to show you in a few minutes on how to find two things. One is how to find other coaches in your area. And then with tools, I'm going to show you how to go into, I'll give you the example I'm using now. I'm building a big site called Seats. So Seats is about people who sell tickets, want to buy tickets, but it's going to be the first Canadian site where you can actually add like merchandise. You can add a limo. It'll detect if you're out of town. It'll offer you a flight, a hotel. It'll do anything. It even has like a 70% test success rate on people that are in Toronto that say, all right, I'll take an Uber. And then we take that. So there's lots of different things and add-ons like that. And why I was mentioning it, because with the health coach stuff, you can go into Facebook, and I don't know if you guys know this, but you can go into Facebook and you can do a search for people announcing they're getting married, right? And it's going to happen thousands of times. We're engaged, right? So we're engaged, and I'll show you this in a minute. And then when they announce they're engaged, if you're a musician, if you're a bridal consultant, if you're selling flowers, if you're whatever you are, if you're a hall, anything that you are now relates to these people, and they're going to start looking for this stuff. And now you can start to reach out based on their public information. And it's the same thing with if somebody's looking for a health coach. You can say, find a health coach or find a whatever you want, and it's going to tell you what people are doing in this in the business, like financial services. Okay, it's tax time. It's coming up. Oh no, it's not tax. Well, January. Okay, so it's coming up to tax time. I have a domain that I don't use that I could send over to the traffic to whoever does the taxes here, and I have to look it up. But oh, back Maureen, right? I think it was Maureen. So I have hst.ca, which I own. It gets tons of people looking for taxes. I have taxes.ca. I've got a lot of stuff. So you can get a lot of qualified traffic to your website right away. There are people that are coming to you. When I sell domains, and I sold a domain, I think about last week, this week, there's a large company called Adopt. I own about 30,000 domains. That's not bragging. We'll get into my background in a second. I have, if I go to somebody else, so if I go to Brian and Jody, yeah, I have that. HST.ca is me. So if I go to Brian and Jody and I say, let's see, I think I lost that train of thought, but there's a lot of different, oh, the health coaches. We looked up domains that had coaches in them, and I had a few that would bring them direct traffic, or I own webinars. So webinars.c. So anybody that owns, that has a webinar they want to post, any podcast, all that stuff is free promotion because I have all these things already. And obviously, Brian and and Jody are going to work together to build something for their stuff. But finding out today that they're focusing on the one thing I wanted to really build was going to CEO or CMO or whatever CFO. Like, how do you go from an ops guy to a CFO or things like that? Those are courses people will pay for right away. So those are big things. And I've got lots of people, even in my network, who would pay for something like that. Anyway, so let's get to getting married just for fun. I'm going to switch to that. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to start to do some stuff. I tend to go through what's called fire hose marketing. So you're going to get a lot of stuff. You probably will need to watch the video again. Most people that I do videos for will need to watch it again. I'll make sure that I zoom in and you can see. So all I put in here was getting married. And then it tells me where people are getting married, if they're getting married in France, wherever. And I can look at Toronto, Vegas, Canada. I mean, and you can see I'm getting married in West Michigan. You can see getting married, staying married. Yeah, that's the tough part. Then you see, so let's look up getting married, Toronto. And then this is just an example. So you'll see that there's people. Hi, everyone. I'm getting married June 6th in Etobicoke. I need some recommendations on vendors. So you can see Facebook is not just a marketplace. It's not just a communication channel. It's a chance to get leads where people go ahead and they announce things. I'm getting married June 6th, 26th. They got 6 months to find everybody. So now you can go in and they want recommendations. Hairstylist, florist, photographer, DJ, all the stuff that you already know that they need. So if you were in one of these businesses, it's very easy for you to reach out and get a hold of one of these people, and lots of them. Wedding alert, I'm planning to get married November 22nd. That one's old, so who cares? You can, by then they probably need a divorce counselor. So if they got married about 6 months ago, you can probably see if they need counseling. Hi, I'm getting married in 12 days. That one's a little too late, but you'll see, you can put in dates like I'm getting married, and you can put in like 2026 or something like that. And you'll find Here's Getting Married Toronto. Hi, everyone. That's the June 6th one. Here's the one that's offering a marriage certificate. She's smart, marrying lady. GTA wedding source. And then you can go through and see what they are and you can put in dates. But you can do this for anything. This is just my example. So let's go back to need a coach. This person apparently busy selling wedding certificates, but you can put in anything that you want and change it up and you'll find the stuff that you're looking for. So we'll go back to Facebook, and Facebook is just a thing. I love how they put these things to try to get attention. Um, need a coach. Okay. And then you're going to see all the places that need help, and we can put in health coach. And it'll give us all the stuff on health coaches and everything else. I'm seriously looking for hiring a life coach. Okay, life coaches and all these coaches, they don't need to be local. And then you'll see people will put recommendations and stuff, and you can talk to them. You can post it here. The smartest thing to do is to message them right away. So you message them, you get to the top of the pile. If you're just going to post with the other 40, you're going to get lost. So that's one thing. Hey, I'm new here. I need a coach. I mean, this guy couldn't be saying it bigger. How are things going with your current coach? And you can start conversations. I need your help. Most people say, my friends, I want to share a little more about myself. Online fitness. That one's advertising. Here's 11,000 people in this group. I need a life coach. Okay. 11,000 people. So here's what I can do that nobody else can do. I can go in here and I can look at all these posts, or I can do something really cool. I can take this list, I can go to people, and I can extract the 11,000 people and their emails and their phone numbers that are asking for life coaches. And then if you're a life coach, obviously you've got a pretty good list. And you can do it from anywhere. It doesn't matter where they are or anything like that. You can see they're all over the place, Melbourne. And look, joined 31 minutes ago. This is an active group of people who need coaches, and they've been here like 5 minutes, 27 minutes, 39 minutes, 43 minutes. So these are people who are signing up like within the hour. I'm echoing because somebody's got their Craig, I think you've got your
Oh, sorry.
voice on. So that gives you a good example. And I did this with the ticket guys. So this is like 11,000 people that we can set up email campaigns to, or other campaigns to, or phone campaigns to, automated campaigns to say, if you need a coach, and we'll put a fancy message on it that gets them to call us and go right to our calendar and book an appointment. So that's one of the things you can do. Another thing you can do is, and this is what I did before for, where's the tickets one? What was it? It was Karma Tickets. C-A-R, is it J-R, right? Yeah, there it is. So they have a competitor. Their competitor is Karma Tickets. Karma Tickets, if I go into it, has 48,000 people in the Toronto area who buys tickets. Now, obviously, we're starting seats.ca, so these are valid customers for us to go after and talk to. And they can't stop it. The only way to stop it is to set it as a private group. So if you guys have a group, set it as a private group, but then you're invite only. So you can go to any group that you want, any network group that we want right now, and say, hey, we've got a network group in Toronto. So let's call it Network Toronto. I'm just making this up. And this is how we get into expanding groups and things like this, and it's perfectly legal. So Toronto Entrepreneurs and Startups, okay? 14,000 members. Do we want those members? Do we want them to know we exist? And do we want to increase our network? 8 posts a day in this group, so it's pretty popular. All I have to do is go to people, run the tool that I developed, and now I can get 14,100 users and inform that there's another group. I'm in Toronto Entrepreneurs and Startups. I thought you could benefit from also getting involved in a smaller group that meets regularly once a week and so on and does stuff like that. Okay? So that's what some of the, and we're only on Facebook. We haven't even touched LinkedIn or anything else like that or any of the tools. So if you see benefits from that, just post a Y in the chat just so I know you're still alive. So that's a lot of stuff you can do. And you can do this for any industry, anything you want. I mean, you can see, I'm just looking at some of the other stuff on here. Get your taxes done. There's lots of stuff. Let me see, financial services, M&A company, natural. There's another one that I saw that I thought I could do something with too. The security cameras. The security camera system. So at first I thought when you said you were in security, you were in like network security like me. Amy, ask away.
Okay, so this is really awesome. My brain is on dopamine overload, so this is
Well, we haven't even
fun.
started.
Okay, well, this is awesome. My first question,
Yes.
I wonder, is there a solution, an AI solution that does this?
Yes.
I love this.
Yes. So there is an AI solution, there's tools, and there's ways to go in besides going into each one of these. See, there's all these other groups. Look, Toronto Entrepreneurs Startups joined 3 years ago, blah, blah, blah. So we can go look at the 14,000 members. We can look at whoever we want to talk to. We'll see all just for now. We'll just pick somebody random. We can go to a moderator. We won't use a moderator, but we can go to a moderator. We can look at her page and you can look at her profile. The most important thing that you want though is their profile because then you can go there and just click you can add her to the group just based on her profile. You can bulk import people into your group or you can ask them or you can do whatever you want. So from the profile, we look at the about. From the about, we look at the details. She hasn't put in her details about her email or anything like that. So she is harder to contact, but it'll run through like all the 47,000. It'll pull us out maybe 25,000 that have added their contact information. And then I can set it up so that it'll automatically set up and automate all of this with AI and including the reach out. And not only do you get customers because you're not trying to get a hold of them right away. You're not spamming. You know, look, hey, I noticed we have some common interests. In effect, we both like to network, and we're in Toronto. Would you like to connect? And then they connect because they all have the same common interest as you, and that's how you get like a 90% connection rate when you're sending out your connection rates, which are automated, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes. Did that answer that question, or do you want anything else, Amy?
Not, I mean, yes and no. I mean, like all information is really good, so that was really helpful. I'm curious if there's like a tool
Mhm.
because what I've noticed, like we all get excited for AI,
Yep.
but nobody knows how to use AI. So that's the problem. But when we integrate the
Uh-huh.
strategy with the AI tool, and I'm wondering if there's that existence.
Yeah, there is, and I'm going to show it to you. The first thing I'm going to do, I might as well go back and do my quick intro. So, who am I? My name is Adam Dicker. I am the former vice president, executive vice president of GoDaddy. I took them from a startup to a giant corporation, and then I exited and took a huge stock and cash payout. I exited because my dad got a brain tumor, and I decided I need to be home a little bit more. And I did that. So I exited. They had flown in, I think, 6 to 8 people for interviews for my position. And I was at a domain conference giving a discussion. There were 3 rooms. The other 2 rooms were empty. My room was standing room only. And it's because I relate everything to the people to help you grow your business today. I don't go up there and say, hey, I've got this great slide. And here it is here because it's just I figured I better make it. Here's what I do. Here's what AI do. And all they do is promote their own business and that stuff. Whereas I don't need that. I want to help, doesn't look like Jack, but I want to help Jack grow his business or her business. It could be Jacqueline, I guess. Joe, I want to help Joe grow his business. I care about building your businesses and the people who bothered to show up today. So I always have standing room only at these things. The largest crowd I did, I think, was 8,000. I was with Anthony Robbins in Los Angeles. I also, like Dave mentioned, was given 400. So I took a tour of Starbucks. He invited me, Howard Schultz invited me in. I walked around and I noticed that they get so much coffee sent to them every day because everyone wants Starbucks to carry their coffee that they had 3 people whose job was just to taste the coffee and spit it in the bucket and decide if they like it. And I thought, man, you'd go home with a caffeine high after that job. So, and I didn't even really like the coffee at the time. I'm more of a Tim Hortons guy, to be honest with you. Um, but anyway, I told him, oh, it's great. And we went on and I sat in his office and he knew I left GoDaddy and I was speaking for a lot of companies at the time. And he offered me $400 million to set up a company for him in Houston. And I did that. And every time I worked out of town, mostly for American companies, I would fly out Sunday night and fly back in either Thursday night or Friday morning because my wife and I for 31 years have done Friday night date night. I'm not missing that no matter what happens. So I did that with him. I stayed there 2 years with Howard. I built up the company, and then I didn't like the direction that they were going. The direction was basically buying domains from people who had really good domains like me and evaluating them and then selling them or just building up a stockpile of domains and stuff. But the problem was he was buying trademarks and I don't touch trademarks. So he had like Microsoft Office, Microsoft Publisher, all the trademarks. I had SpongeBob SquarePants at the time. I sold Elvis Presley to the Elvis Presley Foundation. I knew when to get out of trademarks before it was a thing. Like I sold Cineplex to Cineplex Theaters, and I got 2 tickets for life and $20,000. So I've had some really good ones, but before it was like the early 2000, late 90s, you knew it was time to get out of trademarks because companies didn't care about their intellectual property at the time, and you could buy whatever you wanted if you had the money. And I decided to invest in generic stuff and two-letter.coms, which, by the way, a two-letter.com now sells for a minimum of $1 million. I've sold a bunch of them. I sold pw.com to Price Waterhouse. I sold pw.ca to Price Waterhouse. Sold LQ to La Quinta Hotels. I sold one of the biggest ones I sold, believe it or not, was md.ca to Scotiabank. Why did they want md.ca if they're a bank? Because they are bought MD Financial. And I tried to sell MD Financial, MD for years. They didn't want it at a lower price. And then Scotiabank came in and paid a lot more for it 8 years later. So I've had some really good stories. I'll give you, how much time do we have on this thing, Dave? Because I want to get to the good stuff too.
Quite a bit. We have until 9:30.
Okay,
We have to
so
leave some time for questions, but we
yeah,
have until 9:30.
we'll definitely do that. So one night I got an offer on a domain name. It was $350,000. I wanted $400,000. It was Valentine's Day. Normally I would stick around and finish the negotiating, but what happened was my wife was like, "All right, are we going to go to dinner?" So I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." So I was going to take the 350, and I said, "I forget it. I'll wait till after dinner." And while we're out for dinner, the guy gave in and pressed 400. And I said, "Okay, hon, we can have dessert tonight." So, and that was one of her Valentine's days. So that was a $400,000 sale. It was forums.com, forums.com. But I have things like I have animals, lots, not animals. I love animals. I watch Animal Planet and all that stuff. So I bought all the animal names early on. So elephant.com is one of the largest insurance companies in the UK. If you go there now, it's still Admiral Insurance. They offered me money for elephant.com, 35,000. I said no. They then sued me. They lost because I wasn't using it against their insurance products. And then they had to pay me millions for it because they lost the thing. So that was a good one. It still exists today. I sold seals.com to a company in Germany who, what did they do? They make seals for like products and stuff, not actual seals. I've had some really good animal sales just because I happen to like animals. If you Google an article about rams.com and ESPN, you'll find an article about the Rams trying to buy it off me and lost a lawsuit. There's all kinds of good stories. I've only ever been sued twice. Both times they lost and had to buy it off. Let's get back on topic. So there is good money in marketing. I've been a CMO or an executive VP for probably 20 some odd years for different companies, and I get hired to come in and fix things or get things organized or build the lead funnels. So for any of you that know anything about lead funnels or pipelines, there's MQLs, marketing qualified leads, which are part of the funnel. SALs, sales accepted leads, which are part of the funnel, which means sales has looked at the leads, they've said they're good leads, they accept them. They set up a meeting with it as an SQL. They book the meeting. If they like the meeting, they book an opportunity, and then the opportunity goes to a sale. It changes to pipeline once they accept it, they've met with the client, and now they've put it as an opportunity. That's important to notice because when I build quality and I build leads and I do lead generation for you guys or for whoever, I teach you guys how to find the quality based on 2 lead scoring systems. One lead scoring system is based on, are they the right ICP? Are they the customers who have the money, have the time, and are ready to buy? Or are they just students who are looking for research information or things like that? So that's one of the gradings I use is a numeric system to grade them and give them points based on what they do on the website, where they go. A blog page is not a serious page. If they go to a product page or a service page, they get scored higher. And then I know if they get to a certain threshold, they automatically come up as somebody I should call. So that's important. The other thing that I grade them on is, are they the right title? Are they the decision makers? Are they the people who can actually decide that, yes, they have the budget. Yes, they can do that. This is a lot for medium to enterprise, but for small business as well, you want to make sure that you're dealing with people. So you look who they are up. So I set up a system that, or you do, we'll show you probably. I can't get it all in today, but I'll get as much as I can in because this was with lead generation. The next one will be maybe on how to set up your own system so everything is also automated, but I'm going to show you how to automate some of the stuff today. But taking 100 prospects or MQLs in, there's MLs, which are marketing leads. Those are the people that come to your website. They may fill out a form, but they may not be your right type of customers. MQLs are the ones that you care about because those are the ones that you've looked at, you've qualified, they've answered the questions right. You've got a minimum number of questions because for every extra question you have on your form, you lose 4.5% of the fillouts. So you want to keep your form as minimal as possible, and then you want to use data to enrich it automatically. So if I get whatever it is, whoever it is, and I get Craig Colby and it tells me what he is or what he does, I can enrich it with other things. One of the things I want to look at today, and I'm probably not going to get to the slide deck, which isn't a big deal because it's all just filler. So we're going to look at LinkedIn. And I'm going to do something very similar for you on LinkedIn. So we're going to look at LinkedIn. Now we can look for whatever we want. If we are, let's say we're looking for people who, actually, I'm going to teach you something else first. I think that I didn't even plan on teaching you. Let's go to, first of all, we can look, if we want to find all the plumbers in Toronto, I'm just making this up. They won't be the target. We'll go with architects in case you want architects, but it'll tell you architect, Toronto. We'll fix the spelling. It'll give us a list of all the architects, and then we can go ahead and we can do the same thing. We will get a complete list of people. People there. It'll tell us how many architects there are, and then we can go ahead and look at titles and see if we want to go after anything we want here. We've got pages and pages of architects all in Toronto. So if we were selling some sort of a product to an architect, if we were selling something to anybody, we could be able to find the audience that we need and then extract every one of these, including what their last job was. So if they were a manager and they moved to a director, whatever we want, we can get their last 3 jobs actually. This one isn't showing me the actual number, but I wanted to see the number because it should show it. Oh, see all people. Is that where it's going to be? Anyway, for some reason, it's not showing it now. There's also stuff that I want to show you that's going to educate you on something else. If you are a health coach, somebody said they were, let me look at my page. Just want to see who gave me cities. My health coach, Camille, where are you? Where are you located? Are you there? No. Okay, so we'll just go with Brampton.
She's in the Philippines, by the way.
Okay. All right, so then we won't go with her. We'll go with business coach. Okay, we'll go with business coach. Okay, so there's a few things you want to look up here. We'll take a Brampton. We'll leave Brampton for now. So some of the things you want to do when you get your business listed in Google Places. This is very important. You want to be listed in these sections here under places. So if you haven't gotten your business places card yet, ask for it. You can go and claim it. If you go to a business, and I'll show you how, if you go to a business and you list all the businesses and it's not claimed, it'll say not claimed. So if you find your business and it's not claimed, it'll say, is this your business? And I'm just looking for one now. And then you can, it's restaurants are the same thing. A lot of these things, they don't bother claiming their business. This one's got, you can also look at people who have different revenue styles, different things. There's like 360 Coaching Group. These guys only have 5 reviews or 3 reviews. They're all 5. So they care about their reviews. So if you're doing digital marketing or you're doing design like we have with Sebastian and you want a business on its own, you go into these places, I can export every one of these business coaches. It doesn't have to be in Brampton, could be anywhere. And I can give you what their review score is and what things they can do to improve it. This one doesn't show a review score, so this one may not have. Yeah, see, this one hasn't been claimed. So nobody has gone in and owned this business. So somebody needs to call them and say, hey, Thinkaholic, you're listed on Google. You're not getting the credit for your business. Your address most of your stuff isn't in. You're not getting your reviews. You're not getting the traffic you need. You need to go in and own this business, and we can do this service for you for $200. And I have a tool that I'll show you later that will give me like a 500 or 1,000 of them, and it'll tell me anything I want to know about that business. I'll load it up now while we're doing something else. It's very interesting. It's called Guerrilla Leads. We're going from tool to tool because I want to maximize the time we get. And I want you to be able to pick up and ask questions about anything you want. So boost your leads. So I'm going to show you something really cool. This is if you're doing digital marketing. I want to just log in. Where's my login? Oh, login. Put it in the middle. They hide it in the middle. So I'm just going to log in with whatever thing I have. And then I'm going to do a search, and it's going to give you full SEO reports on everything. So find leads. You want Facebook leads. You want Google leads. Keyword. I don't know what we want. Let's go. I'm just going to show you a business coach just for fun, just because it's easy. Let's do dentist. And this is if you're just going to want to do general dental marketing. Select country. Yeah, Canada. Wait till you see what this thing's going to bring back. Ontario. And select city. All right. Just to keep it simple, we'll do Aurora. That's just because that's where I am. Find small businesses. Okay, so it's searching. API token expired. So I'm just going to go to my leads. I'm not going to bother finding them. Here's a lead campaign. So here's lawyers in Toronto. Okay, so if I go into this one, it's got 2 leads. Some of them have a lot more. Some have 20. Auto dealer near me. And then I can go in and I can look at all of the leads. And I can look at the campaigns, and I can look at what's actually missing from it. I just want to see there, Google leads. So it's going to show me 20 Google leads, and it's going to tell me who claimed them and who didn't. So if I did another business or another search, it'll tell me which ones weren't claimed. But then I go into Baker's Auto Sales. Oh, their site's not working. Oh, his site's down. So his website's no longer working. Let's take a look at this guy. He's claimed. Let's go to Paul's. His site's working. There's lots of stuff you can look at for recommendations, Sebastian, on things you can improve here too, like SEO and things like that. And I really want to see though is, I'm going to open this up bigger. I really want to see Northtown Auto Sales. So here's the reports it gives you. This is something called Leads Gorilla. It's like $39. It's a cheap tool. And it shows you everything that's right and everything that's wrong about this site. So if I want to look at a Google My Business report and see how he is, if I want to look at an SEO report, it'll build me an SEO report on each business, and I can use those to go after people. So now it's going to tell me what's right and what's wrong. And then it also has emails built in for custom emails. So I can now go in and look at, it tells me this is wrong, and I can use this email to contact them, and there's all kinds of really cool stuff. So I think you get the idea of this system. I'm being wary of the clock. I'll let it load. The other things that I want to show you are things like Apollo, which is a lead finding system. So you can go in and you can look for somebody with a certain job title, like a teacher, if you have something to promote to teachers, and it'll give you a list of all the teachers and their full name, email addresses, and everything else. So I can go on and click Tashik. It'll give me what industry he's in, how long he's been doing it, and it'll give me the other teachers at school. And if I want to access his email, it'll give me the email address, and it'll give me his mobile as well. It just gave me his Taruk at friendshipschools.org. If I want his phone number, it'll give me his phone number and shows it to me. And you can get anything and everything from these people. But what else it has into it is these are the ones where you connect the emails to the campaign, to LinkedIn, to a CRM if you have one. If you don't, it doesn't matter. Also, it's got something on here where if you just want website visitors, you add your website, it puts a piece of code on it, and then it tells you everybody who went to your website that didn't fill out a form. So that's something also that you can look at. And then there's another one that I'm going to show you as well. We'll go back to this. Okay, so here's the SEO report for this one Northtown Auto Sales. I did it. It's managed websites. You can customize it however you want. I haven't used this in a while. Their title tag is too long. It's not being seen by Google, so it's not being recognized. Their meta description is too long, means Google's ignoring it. It's not reading anything about their website. And this is just one that I picked. And then you look at off-page rankings. They have no backlinks. Their readability score is a 66, should be more of an 80. And these are all things you can talk to them and explain to them, and it gives you the information. No H1 title tags, no H2 headers. It should have, Sebastian's going to know what all this means anyway. No H3, and then it tells you what they have, what they don't have, and then it makes recommendation. It doesn't show the age of the domain, which gives you credibility if you've been around for 10 or 12 years. The data is provided. Oh, that's another thing I can show you. God, you're going to love this. If you want to look at something called the Wayback Machine, this is something called archive.org, also called the Wayback Machine. So if you want, let's go back. We'll call it archive.org because that's its proper name. I'm going to take any website that you guys want, and I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to use Security Compass just because it's one of the ones I'm working with now. Actually, I just left yesterday, but Security Compass. You put any website you want in there, and it gives you every picture of every website that's been taken since the site started in 2006. So I can go look at what it looks like today. If I have one, I don't because it's this time. So let's take a look at what it looks like today here. Any one of these, this is a 2005 March 8 screenshot. So this is what it looks like today. Well, it loads better, but yeah. And then I can go back to what it originally started with. And I can go back to a different year. And here's another thing. Let's say you had a website. This was one of the first ones they had. So let's say you had a website. You didn't renew the domain name. All of a sudden, you want the domain back. And you want some of the work that you did. So you can go here, and you can extract whatever version of the site you want and put it back on WordPress or whatever was on, and the site's going to work like it did back in 2001. That's pretty cool, don't you think? If sites don't have contact information, and you can do it with any site. We can look at Coca-Cola, I don't care, Coke.com. We can look at any site and look at what it looked like back then. And then you can see, oh, it's Coca-Cola, that's why. So I put it in wrong. So we'll go back, we'll click Coca-Cola instead. It's called the Internet Archive, and it takes pictures of every site that's on the internet every minute of every day. That's all it does. Question, Amy?
Yeah, I love this. What I'm thinking about is there's a very big shift happening right now.
Mhm.
And the shift that I'm seeing is the websites aren't being used as they once had.
Yep.
So the data may not be as current and fresh. Also, social media channels are also starting to lose some followings, and there's new communities that are being built outside of typical tools. Curious how you work with that.
Okay, so there is something called LLMs. For those of you that knows what those are, language learning modules. Those are your chat GPTs and stuff. Those are your Geminis, and I'm going to show you some cool stuff with that. Here's the big deal. Here's the reason why, and then I'll go to what I was going to show you here, this one. So 30% of people, so there's things called question engines and answer engines. LLMs are answer engines. So 30% of people no longer go to Google and say, where's there a good Chinese food restaurant? Who's the best for threat modeling or for web design in Toronto? Because they only get a bunch of companies. So those are not answer machines. They're going to ChatGPT, and I'll show you an example. Well, I'm here now, but I want to show this to you after, so I'll just switch to a different one. Who has the top threat modeling tools? This is a security thing. I'm just making it up, but I put the company that I was working with and consulting with. You can get listed in here now. So there's Microsoft Threat Modeling, there's Arius Risk, Threat Modeler, SD Elements. This is Security Compass. Now, if I were the way I word it, I had Security Compass at #1 before. So you need to be listed in LLMs to show up because this is going to continue to change. People want answers. They don't want questions. Like Google will tell you, if I ask the same question, top threat modeling tools, it's going to give me something stupid. Like it's going to give me stuff that I have to go through and search for instead of what's already been, and it puts the sponsored results first, which is another thing I want to show you. If you want anybody, if you want who's paying for something, oh, it's all these sponsored ones. So if I'm looking for, let's say, what can I look for? Web designer. Okay, so we'll go with web designer Toronto. If you add this tool to your thing, it's called Keywords Everywhere. You will see what I see when you're looking for site names. 1,900 people a month type in web designer Toronto, the exact keyword. So if I own web designer Toronto, I'm going to get 1,900 people a month coming to my website no matter what. So that's the choice of the right domain name. I actually own web designers. So 135,000 people a month go to webdesigners.ca. So that's the type of stuff you'll be able to see by looking at some of the stuff. And people are looking obviously for cheap designers in Hyderabad, India, 2,900 a month, web designers for hire. And you can do this for anything. So I could do it for, I don't know, what did I just buy? Dell, I'll just pretend Dell laptops. I want to do research on Dell laptops. 673,000 people look for Dell laptops a month. And then you go there and you can see these people are all paying for these ads. They're all sponsored. And these are sponsored. And then when you finally get to results, hide sponsored results, now you're finally at the real listings, which is Dell and so on. But I'm going to show you something else if I can remember where it is because it's really good. Bing. Add tool. Preview tool. That's what I want. So they have a ad tool. I just got to find it. This one, I think. Maybe it's not that one, but I'll know in a minute. This is going to show me how to find companies that pay and have paid for ads before. So you know they're willing to pay for your services if they're buying ads for the same product. Okay, I'm gonna kind of skip this one because this isn't the tool. What is it called? It's the it's a Facebook ads tool. That's why. Free. I just want to find the tool that see. This is a sponsored ad, so it's just interrupting my searches. Facebook ad tools, business suite. Where's the one that I want? There's another thing that I want to show you too. I'm going to skip to it just because it's too important. You can look up the Google Ads tool afterwards, but it'll show you who's paying. SpyFu is a really important tool. I'm going to log in because it's that important. And I'm going to show you what you can do with SpyFu. So if you give me any website, somebody give me a website, anybody. I don't want to use the same one. Anybody pop off mic and give me a website, popular one, anything. All right, I'll just take one, rogers.com. So rogers.com, 100% of organic traffic. They're paying for 8 keywords only. What are the 8 keywords they're paying for? Cheap cell phone plans in Canada, low cost, Fresno, California. Where can I buy an iPhone? Rogers Text. This is the stuff they're paying for. If you want to see who their competitors are, we can go here and it'll give us a list of competitors. So we can put in like Bell.com and it'll compare the ad spends. So it'll show me how much each one is spending. I want to find something better though. I'll go back to security. Oh, I'll do TrustArc. TrustArc is a privacy and compliance company and they have competitors. So this will tell me what they're spending and who their competitors are and where they're getting the traffic from. So if we want to see what keywords they're doing, they're buying a lot of keywords, which means they're spending money on ads right now. They're spending $10,000 a month on ads. So for like, this is what I just finished telling my other clients that I'm working with is that I can take away this 10K. I can also show them, you guys are spending $4,000 on clicks that are useless. They're not even bringing you any traffic that's related to your product. And I can show them how much they're spending on these ads and how much each keyword is costing them. So it tells me that OneTrust Atlanta, because OneTrust is their main competitor, they're based in Atlanta. So they're buying that keyword. Here's the monthly cost of the keywords. GDPR consultant, which is a consultant for Europe, they're spending $91 on it and they're getting very little return. And it gives me all the keywords and things that they're getting and paying for and who their competitors are. Keywords that they're getting naturally. They're getting 47,000 keywords without paying for them. But are they the right keywords? Do we need to block some of them? FileMaker Pro is not a keyword for a privacy and compliance company. That's an old piece of software. But they're spending $5,000 a month on it. Does that make sense? No. Okay, so that's where we come in and we say, hey, TrustArc, let us manage your pay-per-click campaign. You set up a report, you print out a report saying you're spending this much money on keywords that don't matter to you. And let's look for OneTrust. You're spending, that's only their competitor, so that's okay. And then there's all kinds of other stuff like KYC solutions. It's stupid stuff, but it adds up to a lot. It adds up to a lot of money that they're spending. And these keywords are just wasting money for them. They're not doing anything. So that's combat. If you want to, and you can put in any competitor that you have here for them. Amy, again, for 200. Go ahead, Amy. I'm playing Jeopardy. Nope.
Okay. Hope it's okay. I'm a frequent caller. So this is a really, really cool approach. Curious if you could look, I'm curious to see what would come out of a search looking for businesses that are paying a lot for sponsorships. Because that's a
Sponsorships as in how?
sponsor, like
Okay.
for-profit businesses
Okay.
sponsoring different large events. That is
Okay.
an avenue I typically go down, but I'm
Okay.
doing it all manually
Okay.
right now.
All right. I'll keep it in my head and we'll go back to it. So you want
Okay, yeah,
sponsorships. Okay.
yeah.
The other thing here is you can see their ads. So what ads they've been running, how much they've been spending per ads, and what ads are actually working. Okay. So that's also good information. And these are the keywords driving those ads. So I could go in, I can say, let's see in June what ad they were running and when, and that's a December ad. You can go all the way back though to whatever you want, previous months, and you'll see all the ads if they were running them. Competitors we have, Google Ads Advisor. It'll tell them what ads, this could be a report you send them and say, hey, listen, you're not buying data analytics certification, but 3,600 people are doing it. It's only $14 a click, and you could get people who want your products. So you're missing these keywords, but your competitors have. And I've got lots of other tools. I won't go into them all now, but there's lots of other tools. Introduction to Artificial Intelligence, AI courses, that's not really a match. And then you can give them templates. We can create templates for their Google Ads, choose a template, and we could build it all out for whatever they want. We'll just pick an AI consultant, continue to download, and they'll give me a template that I can use for their ads. That's one thing. So we've covered SpyFu, but there's also keyword research where we could put in the brand or whatever. And you wanted what, sponsorship, paid sponsorships? Pretty sure that's what you said, something like that. And it'll give us who's paying for paid sponsorships, and it'll give us the top websites that are paying for it once I find it. Those are the ones that are paying for top sponsorships, but I can get all kinds of more information. And these are people who've wrote articles on them, and this is the domains that they're using, and you can get 100 of them. So you won't just get all Google and Instagram and all that stuff. You'll get real companies. Thinkific, all these guys are running, they're running articles that are ranking. There's not one article here that I could find a keyword for that I couldn't outrank in a week. So that's another interesting thing. We can take any article on Dave's business and he could give it to me and tell me they're ranked 1, 2, or 3. I could rewrite it in like 5 minutes and it will, after a week or two, it'll outrank the other ones and it'll get all that number one traffic that they're getting. So that's another thing. Creating backlinks. We want backlinks to our stuff. Related keywords for paid sponsorships. Instagram, Twitch paid sponsorships. How many followers do I get by paid brand? And you get all kinds of stuff. There's lots of stuff we could do here to understand stuff like that. So I'm going to get away from this and I'll come back. I want to get to the other stuff that we need to talk about. So here is Snov. Snov.io. This is one of those things where we're going to look for a job title if we want. We want to look for, I don't know, director. This is something for, let's say, managing director, executive director, creative director. Actually, let's go for marketing director just to keep it simple. So this is going to give us all the marketing directors we want, include director of marketing, and then we can pick where we want them. Toronto. I'm just doing this to make it simple. And then these are the people that we want to search for, and I can put the size of the company. We can do whatever we want, company, location, revenue. I'm not going to do any of that because I don't really care that much. But here it gives me everybody who is a director of marketing who wants to eventually go up to a CMO of marketing or who wants to climb the ladder in something else. And it's 439 just for those that we could go after who want to take our course on how to become a CEO or even upgrade to a CMO. And you can even change to marketing manager. And what this does is it's going to pull all of the titles and the LinkedIn pages and the emails for all this stuff. So we're going to find exactly what we want. Marketing. So we'll go specialist because that's nice and low. Now we're going to get show 885. Now you can go and look at any one of these people. Sorry, Rebecca, I'm picking on you. And we can go in and we can get all the information we want on Rebecca and send emails. We can do whatever we want. And it links in directly and it tracks them all for you. The other one that I want to show you, which is a little bit more expensive, I think it's about 80 bucks, but it's the best one there is. It's called Clay, clay.com. Clay gives you, and this is, what do I do here? Health and wellness coaches in Toronto, in Canada. I can change it to Toronto. And it will give you every one of the wellness coaches. And you can click them all in one click. Bulk click them. It'll go find their LinkedIn profiles, create an email list for you, and then you can start doing your campaigns. The other thing you could do is you can connect them if you had a system like HubSpot. You can use the free HubSpot and it'll list them all in HubSpot with all their information. It'll keep track of your emails and it'll tell you when to call them next and so on. And you can do this for anything. I just picked health and wellness coach. You can do anything with that. AI target tools. Here's the tools that we have. Some of them we've talked about, some of them we haven't. This will be available to you. So for data and prospecting, Apollo. It's very reasonably cheap and does AI generated icebreakers for cold emails. Clay, hyper personalized emails, AI that reaches websites for you. So it gets to the people and finds the people who can make a decision. Zoom Info is the old one. It used to be really good, but now Apollo and Clay have crushed it. Outreach and writing instantly will do the scaling for you and write the emails. It'll warm up inboxes. So it'll create like 100 different accounts inside it, send them from different ones. So your mailbox will never get blocked. Lavender, email grader. It predicts the reply probability of you getting a reply from people. Reggie, end-to-end sales sequences, auto-generating a 5-step email campaign in minutes. All you have to do is put in AI what you're looking to do with the email. I'm looking to get people to come to my coaching program to become how they can up their level and become a CMO, a CEO, or whatever they want. Zapier, it's like if this, then do that. So if the person replies to something, then it does that, but that's built into instantly. The other ones, Lusha is finding direct dials and mobile numbers. It helps you find them. It'll put a box on your LinkedIn for Lusha, and I'll go to my LinkedIn just to show you anybody. I can go to LinkedIn and it'll ask me, like I've got things like Wizza or Lusha, and I can go get their phone number just by a click on the side, and it'll tell me their phone number and personal email and stuff like that. It's just taking me there, but there's things you can sign up for like Lusha that do that. They're cheap. There's a bunch of them, and it'll give you the direct email and number for that person. Don't need Taruk, don't need this anymore. That stuff you looked at. Oh, all this stuff is like, this is gravy. Like you can look for, even if you just want to help restaurants, I'm just going back just so you can see restaurants, Brampton, you'll see which ones have, this one's got 503. He's a 4, so he probably wants to improve to a 5. You can help him do that with services. But all these ones care about their ratings. So you just got to make sure that, and I have a tool, like I said, that Gorilla, which will go in, it'll extract all of these, and it'll tell you only the ones that aren't on Google Maps or don't have good ratings or things like that. I did do a list for Brian that showed him a whole bunch of different coaches in his area. And the other thing that I thought he could do is get together with them, create a group, and then trade ideas and do all kinds of stuff, like another think group just for all the coaches in their area. and then they could find clients from them. But the other thing you could do is if you find out who the coaches, let's go to new market. Where do I want to do it? Let's do it in LinkedIn. So we're going to look for actually new market health coach. I am watching the clock, so don't worry. So now we're getting a list of health coaches, okay? So now we can look at all of the people, and we can look at, this one has 831 followers. Dolly, she's a yoga teacher. She does wellness. She does all this stuff. Great. We could go in, look at her. We don't need to do much. All we can do is we can take a look and see and extract all of these followers if we want to, and figure out who's doing yoga and fitness coach and health coaching in Newmarket. Now we have a new audience. Now we don't have to bother her. We can go to, what are those companies? Orange Theory. Orange Theory. And you can look at the company Orange Theory. It gives us Orange Theory Fitness. You just go to any one of these. Doesn't matter who the employee is. We don't care. And then from there, you can go in and get to Orange Fitness Canada. And from there, you can see how many people they have, 4,000 people that go there. And if we were setting up a gym, we could use those followers and get them. There's unlimited data that's available to us that we can use in a professional way to say, hey, I noticed you're into Orange Fitness. I was thinking about a membership. Do you have time to talk about it? They'll make you a connection. You'll grow your network and you'll get all kinds of other stuff. Plus, some of these people you're going to have connections with, and it's going to show in the email. We're already connected through Dave. I thought maybe you could be interested in something. So there's a lot of different things that we can do for different levels. You can do LinkedIn search, which is here, and you can put in a LinkedIn URL. Let's go get one. Let's go back to, I'll just take this one just because we were here. And we can put in LinkedIn search, put it in here. It has to show people or members, and then it'll go invalid format. Oh, that's Facebook. That's why. Back to, anyway, we can put a LinkedIn ad in there and off we go. LinkedIn. We could go to, we can go to here, who cares? And then we'll go to people, and then we'll just take that link. And these are just architects now in Toronto or wherever we wanted them. And we can just put that in here. Good. Get out of there. It's not taking it out, but add from LinkedIn search. A lot of this is coming soon, but this does work. Let me just refresh. Let's see what it does. People. Get rid of all that crap. And then it'll go search. How many do we want? Save to prospect list. We can make one. Add them. Test. And done. List is selected. Save. Skip profile already saved. Save with or without emails, and then it'll go, and off we go. And I can select whatever LinkedIn account to connect it to mine, so it has authenticity to go, and off we go. So this will be sent out and posted in the group afterwards. The prompts that I wanted to show you, this was interesting. So I'm working with a company now. I have all my Q1, my 2025 numbers. My budget went from 343,000 to 220,000 in 26. So I said, here are the demand gen numbers that I'm going to be using. Here is what our targets were for each product in the quarter. And then I said, based on the lower budget, based on the numbers, based on we're declining in certain products, give me what my targets should be for in 2026. And it did them all. So 2025, 2026 with less budget and a couple other rules that I gave it, and it planned everything out. Here's my targets for training, for SD Elements, for Davici. Note, Davici should be 40% of the SDE numbers, which is what I made it, because that's what it was 37% last year, and I know we're going to do it a bit better. And then I said, make the slide a little bit less because we're not going to do near as much. And it gave me full targets and everything else. So now I just take this, I put it in a spreadsheet, and I'm done. I don't have to do any of the work. So ChatGPT and Gemini, use Gemini, by the way, when you're creating images. Gemini is the one to use for images, ChatGPT more for thinking and deep stuff. But I'll show you something I did yesterday for Gemini. I created this slide just to show you guys what the process is for the lead flow. So you start out with your lead through outreach and messaging. You bring it into, oh, let me make this bigger, sorry. You bring it in to your workflow automation, which could be Zapier or something like that. From there, you engage with them through a message on social using Tapley or a different thing. You can also enrich the information by Apollo or Clay, and then you can do the AI processing, which is Make or something like that, that'll send out the emails. These are all tools that you've got listed and you'll have. But I do want to show you something else interesting that I prepared for you guys. Not so much the slides. The slides I don't care about, transforming and then why this matters, all this stuff. So I could do all these slides and show you, but there's a new thing in Google Slides. I just basically put shitty little text here like this, and then I hit beautify my slide. Now it's going off and it's doing the whole slide for you because I didn't want to bother. I'm not a graphics guy. So this comes with all your Google Slides now. So this is creating this slide, and then it's going to give it to me up here completely finished and branded. And I could change it to any brand colors I want. Like if I'm working with my own company or another company, I could do quickly driven automated brand slides that will show really nice. So this one's going to come up in a second. And then all I'm going to do is, so there it is. Look at the difference. Look at that and look at that. And now I'm just going to say insert new slide. And here's the old one. Here's the new one. Pretty cool, huh? Beautify. And you can do, so after I'm done and I like it, I delete the old one. And I can do that for as many as I want. For you guys with a beginner tech stack, I already did them. So start with Apollo for lead scoring. Use ChatGPT for messaging and personalization. Use HubSpot, the free one, so that it can link all of this stuff to your customers, and Apollo can send the leads that you want into there. So you'll be able to mark them and make notes on them, and it'll track your calls and everything. And then if you want to do some light automation, you can use Zapier or you can use HubSpot because it's built in there now. And as you get the different tech stacks, you'll see we're going to leave Apollo. We're going to go to Apollo or Clay. Instantly, it's instantly.ai to do all the smart leads and the messaging automated. HubSpot Pro and Make is like slides and stuff like that. And then the advanced tech stack, you're not going to use 6 Sense because it's for big companies, but this gives you some more grading. Zoom Info, we're not going to bother with because we already have enough. So right now I would stick to this one or this one. I will make all of this available post presentation. And I'm just trying to see if there's anything I wanted to get to that I didn't get to. You've seen this, you've seen the slides. I can literally post anything I want on here. Faster growth, just making stuff up, slower time to get customer, just adding stuff in here. Medium speeds, good enough, beautify, done. And you just put listed text in. So if you want to make a quick presentation, it's going to turn all this into something beautiful in a second. So all the stuff that we got from SpyFu, anything that we get, we can turn it into a quick presentation that's absolutely going to look beautiful, and it will match the slides that I've chosen. And you can pick whatever temporary slide you want. I picked blue for this, and it did it all. And it did these graphics. I didn't do this. The common problems: cold outdated list, generic outreach, low response rate, sales burnout. Why does this matter? And it's all the stuff that you want to know. So what does AI change? Automated repetitive work. It doesn't need to be done anymore. High quality prospects. Let's humans focus on closing. Personal outreach at scale. So it gives you all that stuff that you need. Where's my final thought slide? Because I have to add it in here. There it is. And I'll just add it, click it, insert, and delete this one. And you can see it put the stupid stuff in, but it made room for it. And if I put a chart in, it'll automatically redo the chart with the arrows and make it look even nicer. Lots of stuff we've gone over. You're overwhelmed. We haven't even covered 1/100th of what I can show you. So I'll keep that in mind. And if there's any specific questions you have on any specific tools or anything, ask now or reach out to me directly. I'm not shy about my information. It's adam.dicker@gmail.com. Adam.dicker, first name dot last name @gmail.com. And my cell phone is 416-884-0535. I do this all the time, and sometimes I've done it for large groups, and they're amazed that I was the one that answered the phone. It's going to be me. The phone's right here. I don't have a secretary here because I have AI. I don't need it.
Right. Adam, I'll bring someone on the screen, Craig, because he had posted a website that he wanted you to look on
Sure.
earlier. So let's get Craig, and he's also a good student and a good teacher at the same time. So Craig, are you there? Can you come on screen?
Yes, I'm not sure what you're asking me.
Okay, you had put a website in the chat. What
Yeah,
did you want Adam to do with
well,
it?
no, he was just looking through websites and seeing what they did, and I was hoping he can use that example, but it doesn't have to happen now. I can go and do that later with the same tools.
So, okay, somebody else asked me, am I doing a podcast? I'm not doing a podcast now. I've taken time off. It'll be on podcast.ca when I decide to do it. Would you need a LinkedIn premium account? No. I'm just going to go through all these quickly. Harmonized sales tax, great stuff. Amazing. Like to book a chat soon. Not missing. Date night is impressive. Scotiabank, one of the top 5 banks. Yeah, I milked them good because they wouldn't buy it when I wanted to sell it cheap. How about Google? No podcasts. I haven't done. There's tons of them out there, by the way, but I haven't done any recently. I will be. Still alive and interested. Helen, Copper Ribbon Volunteer Schools, Wellness Weavers has a hub. Kansas. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff we could do there. I'm suspicious of anything online. You don't have to be, but you should verify it. Like even emails that I download from groups, I'll verify. There's email verifiers that are included in most of the tools I showed you. Can we get a recording? I'm sure. Northtown Auto Sales is a rather prominent dealership in north of us based on the Adam has uncovered about them in more seconds is unbelievable. Good. Can we get a recording? Wellness Weavers. I refuse to buy back Wellness Weavers. Okay. Rogers and Bell, two kind of prominent. I mean, you'd be surprised. I'm going to show you something else just because I find it funny. I'll make sure I hit all the questions, but I'm going to teach you something else that's funny that you guys can also look as an opening. I'm just going to set it up first on my screen. You can ask questions now while I'm here, so ask whatever you want.
Hey, quick question on Google Places, your business in Google Places.
Yeah.
Do you need to put your address on there? Is there an advantage to that?
Not really. It's just there is an advantage, but most people use a PO box.
Yeah, I mean, I work from home. I don't have a PO box. I don't want people showing up to the house.
No, I can understand that.
So I can leave the address off and it'll still get the same results.
Yeah, the thing is though, they asked to mail you a card to verify. So that's the only thing. Okay, so I'm going to show you something in a second you're going to think is unbelievable.
So so I'm nailing that point. Once I get the card, I can take it off the Google Places, take my address off.
You can, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Just trying to find.
But I believe you can also get the card mailed to a different address if you want, Craig. Maybe like a business address and get someone
you can
to
have it
pick it
mailed
up.
to or a friend or a friend's business, but only one business can be listed from each address. So if their business is already listed there, it's no good. So I'm going to share one more thing with you guys you're going to find funny. Big sites, if you go to securityheaders.com and you put in any site you want, every site should be an A+. You can see that Scotiabank has 2 security header issues, which means people could hack into it. There are all kinds of stuff that you wouldn't believe. I'm just trying to think of any other site. I'll just look up TrustArc because I was the one who set it up a long time ago, but then I left. D, look at that. A privacy and compliance company scores at D on security and privacy. So this one I'm going to give to my buddy who's still working there and laugh at him. But there's any company, if you want to go into a company, people make money by sending emails into companies saying, I checked your security scores. Your security is a D in security headers. It's $200 for me to tell you, I'll go in and tell you how to fix it. And I've seen companies charge thousands for it just by running the site through a tool like this. And then they set up an automatic email through ChatGPT. And if you're right and you pointed it out and their IT determines you were right and fixes it, you get paid. Just another stupid little thing. There's so many different things that we can do. I'm just picking any of them. I mean, I can pick any company. If you guys have a site, any site you want me to check, shout it out. I don't care.
How about mine? Resumeexpert.ca.
Okay. Don't hate me for the results. See. So this, if your site's WordPress, I can fix this in like 12 seconds with a WordPress plugin that fixes all this security. So this means people can hack into your site. It's not secure. And there's lawyer sites. There's all kinds of sites that you could find that are, most sites are not A+. The ones that I did, like I think I just did Security Compass. That one should be an A+ because I did it. Unless there, it's an A, but it's still got a problem. So got to
You
tell them
fixed
to
the
fix.
Squarespace ones as well that quickly?
Yeah, anything and everything. And that's another thing. Some people want to concentrate on, you can get and build websites. I've got a team of 12 or 15 people that build websites constantly. I go out and I look for sites that are crappy on like Squarespace or Wix or anything, and I give them a grading report, a free grading report on everything that's wrong with it. I don't show them how to fix it, but I tell them why they're losing traffic, why they're not ranking high, and all that stuff. And then if they want to convert it, I'll convert it to them for them in a week, and then they'll see everything is much better. Including people don't know about their Webmaster Tools site. I was just in there for a site. You're really getting some bonus stuff now.
Adam, what are your thoughts about, I forget the name of the company, they create free websites.
No, good. I looked at that.
I forget the name of it. I'm curious to know your why.
Yeah, I looked at it. So here's a website, Optimi. Let's look at which one. Let's look at Optimi. So Optimi, this is a great site, okay? Company I did some work for, but if you look at stuff, look at their core sitemaps. Where is it? Pages. They have 64 pages indexed and 1,000 pages that they're not setting up right to be indexed. So they're not getting any traffic from the extra 1,000 pages they have on the site. That's stuff that you can walk into and say, look, this is a screenshot of your site. None of these, look, you have 121 pages are 404, which means no page exists. 405 of your pages are blocked by your own robots.txt file. I mean, give me a break. But there's so much information in Core Vitals and then everything else where you can show them what's not working. Companies don't know, and this is a bonus for you. If you have a page on your site, you have to log into Google Search Console. And if you don't want it to be indexed, you hit new request, you put it in here, and it says remove this URL so it won't show up in any of the search engines. There's also another tool I'll probably show you next time where if there's stuff on you that you don't want showing up in the search engine, you can go in and you can click that and it will delete it if it's got any personal information or anything. There's all kinds of cool stuff that I can show you, but it's just, this one should keep you mind blown for a while. But I told you it's fire hose. I go through a lot, you get a lot, and you will really wonder what's like. Brian and Jody, I think I talked to them yesterday. They're like, yeah, we want to work with you. We'll have something, but we'll figure it out by the end of the week. I'm pretty sure now they're ready to go. So anyway, just to keep it out there, I will help with lead generation. I'll help with everything. I charge about $3,000 for the upfront costs and then $500 a month to help bring in leads and maintain everything going forward. And anybody who wants to grow or double or triple their leads, I'm your guy.
Adam, can you give your contact information again?
Yes, adam.dicker, I can type it in, adam.dicker@gmail.com, and 416, it hasn't changed. And please add me to LinkedIn. You can communicate with me through LinkedIn too. If you're going to think about calling me, it's faster to text me because I've got like 4 or 5 meetings today with companies, and I can answer texts when I'm in meetings, but not necessarily.
Adam, it's a great presentation. There's so much there. It's unbelievable. I'm kind of relieved I'm out of this business now because I started, 20 odd years ago and used to build websites.
Hey, me too. I'm not a youngster, buddy.
And it's just, it's just every day it changes so much.
And you know what, Cliff? That's what I love about it. I learn something new every damn day. Go ahead. What was your question?
Well, I love watching. I follow so many young people on Instagram that really do this tech stuff, and it's just so fascinating. I don't need to do this, but I just wondered when you looked at the headers and you saw the security issues. Is there now, or do you think there will be in the future, an AI tool that'll just correct all those things that are wrong? If you get like you get a D rating,
Yep.
it'll
But
just take
nobody
care
knows
of it.
about it, Cliff, except me. Nobody knows about it except me or except you or except whoever I'm going to work with, because there is one WordPress plugin that I created that goes in and fixes all of it. I can create an AI plugin, a WordPress plugin, an AI tool in about 45 seconds to a minute to do anything I want it to do.
Hmm.
But yeah, there are ways that I could go in and show whoever it is, whoever has a site on WordPress or whatever, or outside of WordPress, how to fix it in literally 20 seconds.
Yeah.
So yes, there are tools, but I was dealing with somebody yesterday, and I'll tell you the whole ticket story. We got 1 minute. Their ticket people own tickets. They're used to standing in corners. They have thousands of tickets. They don't know how to build an online site. They don't know anything about the internet. They don't know how to go after buyers. I can find people who are saying, does anybody have Leaf tickets for the game on April the 12th? I can find those things and go, just like we did with the marriage stuff. We find out who's getting married, and then all of a sudden you've got all kinds of other stuff. There's tons of stuff you can do just by knowing what business you're in. Like, I need a good tax lawyer. Okay, let's go find people who are typing that in and putting it in their Facebook pages, and let's go after them. There's so many different areas of, I mean, the storyteller books. Give me one example, Karen. I'll send it out. You'll see how many people and clients you'll get just from that, because I know who to attract with people that want this stuff. The key is knowing how to find them, how to get them, how to convert them. It's not just knowing the fixes, although I've made thousands of dollars just by fixing people's security, because I work for security companies. I did network security for the White House. I left that out. So I have some credibility with that.
Wow. So listen, we're gonna stop the recording now. Thanks for sharing your information in the chat, and Adam, appreciate you giving and giving and giving and giving, man. You got to get returns, large returns for that.
Nah, I just enjoy it. Honestly, just helping somebody else is what motivates me. And growing somebody's business as if it's my own, that gets me all hot and bothered. I like to help people grow their business.
Super awesome.